Alright, hey guys. So today I'm going to be finishing up this painting right here. It's a realistic purple lips painting. I haven't released it to YouTube yet, but I will be finishing it up right now in front of your eyes. Hopefully I do finish it by the end of this stream. I do want to let you guys know that this is real time, so I may make some mistakes and that's okay. you guys will be able to see that. Hopefully you guys like what I'm doing and maybe you learn something from it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So what I'm gonna be painting right now is the smoke. I started it, but I need to finish it now. So I like what I have going on here. We're just gonna add on to it. So where are you guys from? I'm getting my paints ready right now. What do I have my black? Oh, yeah. People responding?
Yeah, there's some. It says woo. It says so hype. Some say hey. Came to talk to us in my school at Central.
Yes, I did.
And girl from the last live on YouTube, she's like, I'm here. Or he or she.
Hey everybody. I know some of you guys may want to see the rest of the drawing, but I need to have different. It has its own schedule, so I need to work on different pieces. So
We got Texas, Wisconsin, and California.
Nice, nice.
Oh, and the one that I didn't know if it was a he or she, it's a she. And then Idaho, Georgia, Virginia.
Nice. Nice. I'm glad you guys are all tuning in. Let me get into some topics so you guys can relate to me. So what I'm doing now is I'm building up the tone. I did this prior. I have another live stream on my Facebook channel, and on there I actually posted mainly the entire base of the whole painting. If you guys want to see more of this, you should definitely check it out. But right now, what you're going to be seeing is me completing it. And I say that because I don't have much left. I just need to finish the smoke, create some more detailed lines, See that? See that, guys?
Got someone from New Mexico,
Nice.
Mexico City.
Mexico City. My family's from there.
Ricardo from Mexico City said he's also painting.
Nice.
And Sarah says, currently in Nebraska, but I was born in a border town in Texas.
Texas. I'm from Texas, you guys. So can anybody tell me what mediums they like to use? What do you find fun to use? What do you guys like using? I like painting.
Sarah says she likes to use watercolor. Pretty Kitty says Copic markers.
Nice. Do I have anybody in the chat who likes to do digital work? I had some people before on my other live chat who did digital work.
Says, I love painting with watercolor, but I'm not too good at it. I'm more confident with charcoal and normal pencils.
I think everybody is more confident in drawing because that's what they start off doing. That's what I started off with, just a pencil. Sure, that's what people did. Cause like, how else do you reach out and experiment a little? How do you even start? Cause I know there's some people out there who just do like watercolor painting. But who introduced you to it, or like how did you even start? Maybe you can even help me out. Cause sometimes I haven't started oil painting yet, but it's just a topic in general that a lot of people would want to have answered. So what made you get into watercolor? Or any medium for that fact. Anybody can answer this.
Ricardo says acrylics, and yeah, I want to learn digital style.
A lot of you guys should know that there's a very big, high demand for digital work, but it's very competitive. I mean, art in general is very competitive, but I feel like digital, you have to compete with a bunch of people. I don't like the environment. I like it when everybody that I'm friends with succeed.
Ellie says, "Are you going off a photo or by memory?"
I'm mostly doing this by what I know about smoke. It's very free flowing, so I'm trying to imitate that form of flow. Very free and unpredicted. So I'm just going over a lot of areas. I was going off of a reference of smoke, but it's not like I'm doing it exact. I do have references sometimes, but it's more like a tool than a reference. I use it as a guide, I guess. Like I don't use it to paint it exactly. I usually just look up like smoke on Google or something, just to get an idea of how smoke works, the direction it flows.
It says, Sarah says, "Personally, I just found most of the mediums I use now on YouTube. Lavoon, Peter Jaws, and Lavender Tone. I can't say that name. We're all large people in helping me find things I enjoy to create." I guess other channels.
Yeah.
She says, "You are getting me interested in other painting styles too."
You definitely should. You should try as much as you can.
And then Maru says, "Nice work. I'm from Nicaragua." She says, "Why lips?"
White lips. I wanted to have my own distinct look, my own distinct form of, I guess, it's like whenever you're an artist, you find a way to distinguish yourself, and lips was a good way for me to, I guess, have my own identity.
Your own brand.
And it's also really popular, so I went with it. Need more smoke.
Adrian says, "Simón ese." T. I'm just gonna say T for that girl. I didn't know if she's a girl or boy. T says, "I have seen many photos of watercolor paintings and like how it seems to blend easily, really easily, and how you could make light splatters for aesthetic."
Nice, okay.
So Pretty Kitty says, "Do you have any tips for animation and cartoon making?"
Not really. I'm not that type of artist, but I guess I can give you some tips of being an artist in general. If you're having trouble with the way it looks, like you can't get the right look, I guess just look at other artists and what they do. Also, looking up on YouTube is like very useful tip. Finding what people do and how they do it. Finding good references. I know you shouldn't try to like make money off of it or recopy people's work, but you can, recreate somebody's style just so for practice, so that way you can see what it looks like if you can actually recreate it. And then it might become like muscle memory, just redoing it over and over again. So by the time you actually create your own animation or own figure, it's like you already know how to do it without having to look anywhere else, but it's all in your head. So look it up for sure. Be inspired by other artists. It does help.
Adrian says, puro, I think he meant Michoacan. Compa. Chinawa says, amazing. Ellie says, any tips for designing your own art without photos or references, etc.? I am trying to get into tattooing designs, but struggle with creating my own.
Tattoo designs, or what was the question? Like finding your own thing.
It says designing your own art without photos or references. I guess.
Oh, okay. I think that's an easy one. I think whenever I was a tattoo artist, and I don't know if you guys know that. Some of you guys don't, because you guys don't follow me on all my social medias. But I did talk about how it does help me transition and into different fields. So what I was doing is getting pictures off of Google, and the challenging part was, like, let's say a skull, right? You don't know what a skull looks like, but you can find it on Google, and from there you can say, like, okay, I want the skull, and like you just find a skull that's has its mouth closed. Like, okay, now I want to open its mouth. So you draw it as if it's in the same format, or it looks just like how it looks in the picture, but you make it open its mouth, and you use your imagination to draw it, but opening its mouth instead of it having closed. That's what challenged me. It's like, okay, well, I see the reference, it has its mouth closed, I'm gonna open it. And I think that's what helped me start my creative process.
Ronnie says, how did you start on painting realistically?
I think everybody wants to draw realism. I think that's like the main thing that people think, that once you draw realistic, you're like some sort of god or something. Like you're the best artist. But I think that's everything that I try to achieve, was just drawing realistic. So I don't know, I can't really say. I guess it was a challenge. For me, the challenge of doing something more, doing something that I couldn't do before, which was drawing realistic figures, realistic people. Since everybody has such a really hard time drawing people, I think that's what I mainly focus my energy and time into, is being able to do things that other people couldn't. And realism was challenging at the time, so that's what I strive for. Doing something tedious, doing something that consumed a lot of my time, but the effort that I created from it was great. Especially since everybody praises realism in the art industry.
Saludos desde Las Vegas.
Hey. I feel like my smoke is too thin on some areas, so I'm picking it out.
Ruby says, would you consider any of your work hyperrealism?
The work that I'm doing now, I wouldn't consider it hyperrealism. I have done things like works in the past where it was very hyper-realistic, where it was detailed to like the very corners of, like, let's say a face. You saw every single little pore, and you would see every single little eyelash. You even see like detailed the reflection in somebody's pupil, even if it's a person that's like this far away and I'm drawing their entire body. I would try to make it that detailed. Their freckles and everything in between. So I used to do that type of work, but it was consuming a lot of my time. I would like to get back into that, doing realistic work, because I mean, it was pretty fun and challenging at the same time. But it's just as I started getting older, we started having more bills, and that piled up. So it gets harder to make time for things you like that. right now I would just consider my stuff to be realism.
Jeanette says, when did you start painting and can you give tips?
I started painting 2 years ago, and I started because it was new, it was different. I saw some of the people I followed on Instagram that were painting. I thought it looked pretty cool at the time. How they created all these paintings and like very detailed, intricate work, and it looked kind of fun too, you know. And I wanted to try it. I think what branched me into painting was realistic drawing in the Prismacolor. I think that's what actually sparked my initial to take that first step into another medium like painting. It was scary at first, but I think what I did to get into painting was challenging me as much as I could. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do something very detailed and intricate, something very hard. So one of my first paintings was lips, but the tongue was like licking the teeth. So I try to imitate that. It's on my Facebook and Instagram.
Says also, how do you not accidentally use the wrong color on your painting? Because I can see a whole bunch of colors on your palette thing.
Oh. Well, I usually paint. I mean, all this right here is dried up. It's dried up paint. So it's pretty heavy now. It's thick. Just paint that's been piled up and piled up. I usually just put the paint on top of it. And it just like, I have it in the middle. See? White, gray, and black. And that's how I paint.
Those are the colors you're using now?
Yeah, see? White, gray, and black. I don't have all the other colors on my palette. Some artists are way neater than me. Like they have all the colors like red, orange, yellow, and all that. But I mean, as long as you know and have your what is that called? You're organized in your own way, and you know how to find the colors that you want to use. You know what you're mixing, then I think it works. Whatever works. You know, just like how some people clean their rooms differently. It's really messy, but you know exactly where you left your socks. Kind of like that.
Trinity from last live stream on YouTube says, so realistic. Says, how long have you been painting?
2 years. I've been painting for 2 years. This painting right here, I've taken about 2 hours. I think that's good. Let me just do this.
Somebody said, I usually paint for relaxing, but sometimes I see other people and they paint so much better than me and I feel sad. Do you feel like that? Not now, but years ago.
No, I didn't feel sad that I couldn't do it. I felt like envious. I felt frustrated that I wasn't as good as them, and I think that's what pushes me too. Like when I see other people who I believe are more successful than I am, or maybe not even that, but I see that are producing more work than I am, I get mad at myself, and I just, you know what, I'm gonna do even better, because you shouldn't see other people as like your enemy or as competition, because the biggest competition is yourself. So you should be looking at yourself as the person you should be competing with, the person from yesterday. You weren't trying to be better than who you were yesterday. So I wasn't sad. I was more upset at my own self for not being good enough. I guess that's what helps me. Some people may think that's unhealthy or not for them, but that's what sparks my motivation, just to get better. I think that's good.
So Sarah says, organized chaos. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Etzel said, "This is so lit."
It is. It's lit.
Trinity says, "Do you sell your artwork? If so, where?"
I do sell my work more online. I guess people just know where it's at. I have a website where I sell my prints. And I usually link it in my bio. And Instagram, Facebook, everything's online.
Jeanette says, "How often do you make art or whatever?"
I make art, I guess like finishing pieces, not that often, but I'm painting every day. Once I guess, if you really are serious about this job or industry, you try to paint every day. You try to stay active. So I paint every day. If you guys would like, I could go live and show you guys what I do every day. Because I'm always doing some new project, doing something different and new. I can take you guys along. I just never finish the pieces that day.
Speedster says, "This is sick." Yeah, do that. Go live every day.
Alright, I'm gonna challenge myself to go live every day. See how that goes.
Tristan says, "Do you like drawing lips more than anything else?"
I like drawing lips and painting lips because, like I said before, it's a distinctive factor of my signature. Everybody has to have their own signature, your name. My signature just happens to be lips. Because whenever you're in the art industry, you want to be recognized by doing some sort of whatever it is. You look at some artists and you're like, oh, he always draws bears. That's his like aesthetic. That's his look. That's what he does. And for me, it's lips. So this is what I do. But I like being challenged, so I never stick with one thing. So this right here is a series more than what I like doing. So I'm always gonna just keep moving around to different things, different paintings, objects, portraits, realism. It doesn't matter as long as I just keep moving, progressing. I can't just stay in the same place. Okay, so I'm done here. I'm gonna go ahead and do the highlights.
Jeanette says, "If you end up messing on your art, what do you do about it?" Sorry if I'm asking so many questions.
If I mess up, I just keep going. You keep painting. You paint over it. You really can't mess up. It's just unless you stop and you like it, then you can leave it like that. But if you're unhappy with it, especially in painting, you can just paint over it. It may take longer, but it's not permanent.
Like if you were to accidentally put like red.
Yeah, if I were to grab a paint, I just smear it right here. I put an X. You just take it off, or you paint over it. It's not gonna be the forever unless you allow it.
And you like questions, right?
Yeah, I like questions. Don't worry about it. I want you guys to expand your minds. I want you guys to keep learning, asking me questions. I mean, I'll give you guys some insights, whatever it is you guys want to know. It's cool.
Ricardo says, "Who are your favorite artists and why?"
My favorite artist, I like Leonardo. My bad. That's a music artist. Michael. I already forgot his name.
Dali.
No, my bad. I'll start off with my favorite, Da Vinci. Forgetting my names. Sorry guys, I can't think right now.
Dali.
Dali! Like Dali! Why am I saying Da Vinci? It's not.
You like him, but
I
not.
like Da Vinci too. Dali's one of my favorites. His surrealism is crazy. It's if you guys don't know who Dali is, he paints a lot of realistic objects, paintings. It's very realistic, but unrealistic to this world. So that's why it's called surrealism. It's really cool in the way he sees the world. He painted I don't know if you guys know, a clock that's melting on a branch. That was pretty cool. So right now what I'm doing is making the highlights.
Trinity says, what's the most complex painting or piece of art you've ever done? And the rainbow?
Yeah, I painted these rainbow lips, and they were very complex. It's just the whole palette in general, and blending all those in, and creating all the creases of the lips, creating all the highlights from the lips and depths and darks. So it's like little tubes everywhere. I call them tubes because that's how I see it. You know how your lips they crease in and out. I had to do all that, and that was difficult at the time since I was just starting to paint.
Even the rose lips, right?
The rose lips too, yeah. I painted the rose lips, and that was pretty difficult too because it was difficult because I had to create all the roses by hand. And it wasn't really difficult. It was more time consuming than anything.
Says Pretty Kitty says, I love Salvador Dali. He's my favorite too.
He's awesome.
Rick says, I just bought all this paint supplies and have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm watching to learn. I think shading will be the hardest.
Only if you allow it to be. Blending is probably the easiest. If you're painting with acrylics, just make sure your paint stays wet. And it's pretty easy.
I can't put music.
Huh? You can't?
All of them crashed. Mm. Um, just tuning in. Lips look fantastic.
Thank you.
Which is more of your forte, painting or sketching and filling in color?
Painting and sketching. Painting and color. I'd say painting. It's very intricate. It's very colorful. You have a lot of freedom and fun with it since it's very unpredictable. So sometimes I'm creating work that I don't even know what it's gonna look like until I actually do it. Alright, well sorry guys, I'm trying to put some music on. So what I'm doing right now is adding the highlights on the lips. There's some things that I've done there that I may erase with purple. But overall I like it. It's looking pretty good. This is on canvas.
Speedster asked who inspired you to paint or do art.
What inspired me to paint or do art? It's a hard one. I think the challenge is what inspired me. Just wanting to do more, to create, and not just to be stuck. Because if you're only doing one medium, you're gonna end up being stuck. And for me, I don't like feeling trapped because people want different things. People want, like, I did it mainly for clients or customers. They're like, hey, can you paint? I'm like, no, I can't. So I guess I took initiative to do that.
So somebody said that's a lot of paint on the paint thing. Your palette.
On palette, yeah.
Let me see it.
Right now it's just covered by a bunch of gray. I was using that color a lot.
And Edsel put like a emoji kind of thing. I don't know if you want to see it. In a little bit.
Yeah.
Crispy Chicken says, you talked at my school.
I did. Glad you tuned in.
Speedster says, are you a self-taught artist? I am. How about you?
I am a self-taught artist. I just I kind of don't like that term though, because everybody has a. I feel like it's more like you're saying that I did it all myself and I know everything. So for me, I don't really like that term, even though I am. But a lot of people helped me along the way. I had a bunch of good mentors, like teachers, people who explained their techniques, their ways of approaching paintings, and I think I'll always be a teacher. Not a teacher. I'll always be a student or pupil, whatever you want to call it. I like learning. I'm not saying that you're like that. I'm just saying my point of view. I wish there was another word for it.
Pretty Kitty says, what age did you start doing art?
I started about like 10 or 8. Just doing like cars, some roses, flowers, dogs, animals, you know. I didn't even try to do faces because I know I wouldn't be able to do that.
Somebody said, nice tats.
Thank you. I'm gonna go back with the dark purple.
Speedster said, yeah, I know how you feel. I pick up various styles from different artists. Do you pick stuff up from anyone else?
I guess I do. I know some people who have like their own series, like let's say somebody paints things that impact the world, you know. It's very controversial. I'm like, you know what, I can do something like that, something similar. I may not copy their style, but I go into that feel like, you know what, I should be doing things that are more relatable to me, or more relatable, or my point of view. That's why you like artists, because they say their point of view through their art. So I guess maybe that. Pick that up from them.
Nicole says, what inspired you to do this? This painting?
Painting?
This painting, like this one specifically.
I have clients who buy my work and they ask for specific things. This one right here is being sold to a company, and this is related to their company, so they want to have something that they can promote, and something they can have that's original. So they like my style, they like what I do, and they want me to do this for them. They just chose the color, and like they kind of explained to me what they would want.
Heaven says, do you like pandas?
Pandas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like pandas. Yeah. I'm choking.
Shift says, how many lip paintings do you think you made over the years?
I've only painted them for about a year or 2 years. So I'd say maybe 16.
Diego says hi.
Hey, Diego.
Adrian says, I think it's good to pick up stuff from other artists as a beginner, but everyone should make its own style. What do you think, G?
I agree. That's what I was actually talking about earlier. That you should. I don't mind because I did run into that. I was talking about that earlier. How somebody made their account and they started to recreate art that other artists have made. So that included some of my drawings that I've done before in the past. And I don't mind it. It's it should be like flattering because you know what they say that the people who copy your art is supposed to be the biggest form of flattery. You're supposed to be seen as iconic because you're the original. But it's okay, I used to do that too. Not copy people's work, but I used to copy photos exactly how they look. But now I don't do that. I try to find my own style, do something that people haven't seen before. So you probably haven't seen this before because it's new, it's different. So
Maybe something similar, but not exactly.
Yeah, I do create things that are similar. Like I see a face. I don't really know. I mean, I know what they look like without references, but maybe I'm looking for a certain angle, or maybe I'm looking for a certain lighting. I don't really have people here with me, and maybe I want like maybe paint oozing on their face, or maybe their head is like chopped off on like vertically and flowers come out or something. It's just I create something based off of my imagination, but I use a reference to get what I'm going for. So you should definitely be able to branch out. So don't get stuck copying things. Find your own thing.
The Speedster says, where do you get your supplies?
I get all my supplies from Hobby Lobby. That's the only art store in my small town. So that's where I get all my stuff. I know I've heard a lot of people say they go to Blick Art Supply online and they find a lot of cool stuff there. I wish I had a really big art store around me, but I don't.
And then we got people tuning in from Mexico. And Heaven says, are you going to do tutorials in the future?
Yes, I will. I'm going to be dedicating more time into my YouTube channel. So that way I could help you guys get better, learn something. I want to be able to teach. That was my initial plan whenever I started my YouTube channel, is to help others, because I feel like I'm in a position, I'm not going to say that I'm the best and I can just teach everybody what I know, because I'm not a teacher. I never considered myself somebody to be in a position to be teaching people and saying, this is right, what you're doing is wrong, stop that. I feel like I'm in the position to share what I know, and hopefully it helps other people, because other people want to know how to do this, how to do that. Maybe my way is easier. I feel like you should just consider me as another student. But when you're in math class or something, you see you guys have this problem together, and it's like 2 + 2. Like how do you even work that? And the teacher's showing you carry this, you do that. And I'm like, well, you know what? It's better if you just do this. You see my hand, and you go like that. It's 2. And they're like, oh, okay, it's 2. And maybe my way is easier. So that's the same thing whenever we're drawing portraits, or we're drawing hands, or we're painting together. I feel like I can explain things in my own version, and maybe you guys can understand something from that. So that's how I see it. I don't want to tell you guys, or for you guys to think that I'm this pro and I know everything that's best for painting. And so just see me as another student. I'm also working to get better.
Crispy Chicken says, have you always painted like that, or have you gotten better over the years?
I think I've gotten better over the years. I've definitely gotten better. I wasn't always able to paint until after I graduated. That's when I started becoming more open to different styles and different mediums.
Speedster says, what do you struggle most with in an art standpoint?
I still struggle with hands. I think everybody has their own thing that they struggle with, and hands are my biggest struggle because those things are hard to